Now then, let's move on into a different area. Now, from Grimsby, we have an expert on ghosts whose exploits have now made him famous all over Grimsby. With his St Bernard dog, Ben, please welcome Robin Furman. Hello. Let's come in. Excellent.
Sit. He's looking for ghosts already, actually.
He is, yes. Looking in the studio audience for people.
Yes,
Well, let's just keep Ben under control, because you go out ghost hunting, ghost busting, is that right?
We do, yes.
Are there a lot of ghosts?
Yes, well...
Never work with animals and ghosts.
It's a poltergeist effect.
Yeah. Poltergeist. Now, does Ben find them for you?
He does. He's found one or two of our most famous ghosts, and yes, there's another one. This also indicates if there are certain sort of ghostly presences around. You see, we have this impressive machinery.
Well, let's keep off the machine for the moment to understand that. Are there a lot of ghosts in Grimsby? Is that why you got started?
It seems to be a ghost-ridden place.
It's a ghost town, isn't it, since the fishing?
It is. That's where I saw my first ghost, you know.
Yeah.
It was the ghost of a nun.
Yes.
I saw a nun on the landing. Actually, you know what they say if you meet a nun? You can greet her. You can sort of kiss a nun once. You can kiss a nun twice. But you mustn't get into the habit.
Right. I can see why she wants to haunt you.
Yes, exactly.
So you're saying you actually saw a nun, was it?
Yes, I did indeed.
And where was this? This
was on the landing of my house.
Yeah.
And
it used to be a nunnery, your house?
It was. It was on the site of the old nunnery, 1109, St Leonard's Nunnery.
Yes.
And then I started talking about parapsychology, and hence grew the Grimsby Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Because since my book, which I've forgotten to bring to show to everybody, we are now Ghostbusters UK.
Anyway, I'll tell you. Yes, you've got a book about that, and you're not named after the film. They named it after you, the Ghostbusters
Well, I think the film was terrific, but I think we were formed before the film.
Yeah. So what Grimsby does today, Hollywood does tomorrow.
Exactly, right.
There's a little team of you, and you go out and look for ghosts.
We do. One of our famous cases was the shoe shop ghost, where they had a ghost with a foot fetish, you know.
A foot fetish ghost,
A foot fetish ghost.
That's all you want to be haunted by, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
People complain violently about this chap. He was an old fisherman with Rupert Bear trousers, and he wanders around the shoe shop.
Did he have a friend, a fisherman's friend with him, or was that...
Well, I don't know.
Rupert Bear trousers.
They like him. Yeah, that's right.
And what did you do? You went on...
We looked for the ghost for the people in the shoe shop, and they were very happy. But they weren't frightened of the ghost. They were just so fascinated to find there was actual apparition. Every member of the shop had seen him.
Yeah.
And so they called us in, and we did what was necessary.
Normally you find ghosts in sort of churchyards. Have you done all that sort of stuff?
Yes, there was a church, it's in my book, Ghostbusters UK, where Skidbrook Church, yes.
You haven't brought it, but you're going to mention it in every episode. You're learning. You've been on these TV courses, I can tell. Yeah, in the church. Which church was it?
It's called Skidbrook Church.
Yes.
And the road to it is now barred by the appropriate authorities. You have terrible trouble to get to it.
Yes.
But there we had a fight with dangerous entities. In fact, we had a wonderful machine which we called the Tractron beam.
Yeah.
And this was a wonderful thing to attack dangerous ghosts with.
I think they've made up a sort of copy of it for you. What happened to your one?
Well, actually, we have a huge ghost mobile to attack them and...
Is that a fair representation?
Might stay there, yeah. And we actually drove over it. It's now a very flat Tractron beam.
Yeah.
And this is... they won't be frightened, will they, in the audience?
I am, but...
If the ghost was there, we would sort of fire at it. Can you see that?
Oh, yes, like a...
This is extremely dangerous.
So if you get an epileptic ghost,
that's right.
Strobe lighting, it's strobe lighting.
Yeah.
So if John Travolta were ever to die, this would bring him back to life, wouldn't it?
Flying back without any doubt at all.
Well, somebody's made that a copy of yours, so we can see what it looks like. But you drove over yours in your vehicle.
Yes. So that was the end of that story.
Yeah. What about other forms of things, like possession by...
We had a case where a lady was possessed. They rang us up. They're very anonymous. Very true case. And she said she was possessed by an entity called Pazuzu. An ancient Sumerian entity, yeah. Most incredible. Well, similar sort of name.
Pazuzu. Now, this is in Grimsby. She's what, a regular person?
She's a regular person, typical Grimbarian, you see.
Grimbarian, right?
That's right.
We're learning on this show a lot, aren't we? And Pazuzu, or Kaja, whatever it comes...
He was controlling the body of this rather fascinating female.
Where does he come from?
He comes from Sumeria, 3,500 BC.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, being a medievalist, I knew who he was.
Oh, good.
So I told him to go away.
No, I can see now. She's possessed by him. I can't see what possessed him to come to Grimsby. That's...
I've often wondered the same thing, actually.
So what effect did this have on her, to be possessed by a Sumerian from... years ago.
She seemed to be enjoying it. She was flinging herself around. She was very fascinating and exposing certain parts of the anatomy to the view of the onlookers, which are most commonly handled by their owners. And this was
you're
quite...
being a bit vague for this. So this is where, in her house?
Yes, it was. But we were very careful. We pulled her dress down and said, look, you've got to go away. After a while.
Yeah, but how did you get...
I mean, we didn't...
How did you get Pazuzu to go away? Do you have the Sumerian word for go away?
We bored him to death.
How did you do that?
I hope this is nothing to go by, actually.
No, I'm fascinated.
We were absolutely we threatened him.
You threatened him?
Yes, we said we must go away, or we take you on the Clive Anderson show.
Yes.
And he was terrified.
Yeah, terrifies most people, including me. Yeah, right now, I don't quite understand what Ben's job is on this. Is he especially... He's obviously ready for action at any time, but is he a specially trained...
Any ghosts, Ben? Ghosts? You see, as soon as you mention the word ghosts, he becomes instantly alert.
Yes. I think you're boring him now, I don't know.
The only thing that gets him going... But I forgot to tell you also about the ghost in the shoe shop that tickles the feet.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned him.
There's a student above, in a flat above, nothing to do with it, and it went in there one night when he was talking to his girlfriend in an intimate manner.
Yeah. And he horizontal conversation.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And he thought she was particularly enthusiastic for a moment till he realised she was desperately leaping out of bed because he said, somebody's tickling my feet. And he said, yeah, well, I'm not a contortionist.
Yes.
And it was apparently the ghost. And he'd gone upstairs.
So it's a peeping Tom ghost.
The foot fetishist, peeping Tom ghost.
Yeah, well, Grimsby is that kind of town, isn't it?
The mind boggles.
But what did you do to get rid of him? Did you take your shoes off, or what?
We researched it very thoroughly.
Yes.
And we found that it's only response to ladies.
Yeah.
So he's not all that strange, I suppose, after all.
Yes.
Well, maybe he is, but the point is that...
What did you do to get rid of him?
Well, he's still there.
Right. Right, well, another success for Ghostbusters UK. Thank you very much, Robin, Furman, and Ben the dog. All right. Well, OK, well, thank you. Of that spooky interlude, we'll have to take a break. See you after that. Bye.
Ghostbusters.